Hey everybody, welcome back to the D2 special of Spy Family. It's me, Daniel, and Daniil. We are the two Ds of the D2T2. Last time we talked about Spy Family, we were left on a sort of cliffhanger after the interview to see if Anya was going to get into the academy.
An elegant cliffhanger.
Well, we were kind of left wondering if she was going to get into the school or not because Lloyd kind of went a little crazy and punched the desk in half. But when we got back into it, we realized that from Lloyd saying that he killed the mosquito, it kind of won everybody over because they said mosquitoes were like the number one killers of human. So they thought he was just saving that guy's life.
And Henry was also mad at Mr. Swan.
Mhm. Yeah, he was pretty upset at him because Swan was kind of talking down on Henry's position as the headmaster. Uh, But we get to the point where the forgers go to the school to see if Anya made it into the school, if she made the list, and they see the list and they don't see Anya's name on it. Which, when I saw that part in the show, I thought, what are they going to do now? Like, she didn't make the school. How are they going to complete the mission?
I thought that it was fine. I didn't know. I thought it was gonna be they were gonna get in, but I originally thought their name was gonna be on the board because we did. And when I
Mhm.
saw that it wasn't, I figured there would be like a backup plan, like students that are accepted that don't go, which ended
Mhm.
up being the case. And Henry Henderson, still love his name, talked to the forgers about it and explained that if she's the first one, if a spot opens up, you guys are in.
But she
And
wasn't supposed to talk about it. It was supposed to be like classified information
yeah,
about the queue list about
mm.
students who are on the watch list if somebody drops out.
But when Henry sees such elegance in his presence, he just can't control himself.
No.
And then you
So
have the you want to go?
no, you go ahead.
You it takes it to they're at home and they're talking about it. They're waiting. The phone rings. They get accepted, and then old Scruffy comes over and celebrating with them. Your is an alcoholic.
She
He
can't
has
handle
he
her
does
alcohol well.
say because she was drinking then, and Scruffy was drunk, and Lloyd asked Anya what he could do, like anything she wanted. So then she wanted to be saved by a spy. So they
Hmm.
recreate like a scene from Spy. What was it?
Spy Wars.
Spy Wars, and they rent out a castle. He calls his whole agency, which they're all excited just because Twilight's there.
Hmm.
So they're all hyped about that because he's like a superstar for them. And when he's doing the whole mission, you're supposed to be like protecting Anya, and she's taking it a tad bit too serious. And
Hmm.
Lloyd's like, "Whoa, what are we doing here?" And I've been talking for a while, so I'll let you pick up from there.
Well, one thing I wanted to touch on was during the castle sequence. Anya plays a game with Lloyd where he has to answer questions. And one of the questions was, what was Anya thinking about at that very moment? What did she want? So Lloyd was trying to go into his brain, trying to think what Anya wanted, what she really liked. What she wanted was water because she was thirsty. I thought that was the funniest thing ever because Anya just wanted Lloyd to dress up as Bondman, which is the main character from Spy Wars. So she was probably going to say complete the opposite of what Lloyd was going to say just so he would have to dress up as it. But after they play that game, he goes and it's like the final section of the castle to where he could save Anya, and uh, Yor is supposed to be a witch who's like trying to keep Lloyd from saving Anya, but Yor doesn't really understand that this is more of like a game. She just thinks that Lloyd is gonna hurt Anya, and Yor is like set on protecting Anya and not having anyone hurt her. So Yora's absolutely trying to kill Lloyd. She doesn't have any weapons,
So
but
he
she
even
does a pretty swift kick.
so he even makes a statement like she's gonna kill me, and
Hmm.
then her heel breaks and she hits the
Yep,
ground and she passes out. And then
because
Lloyd
she's
saves
drunk this
Anya,
entire time.
and then they move into going to get the outfit,
Hmm.
and that is when isn't that when Lloyd goes on his own to brief the mission?
Yes,
And when he's briefing the mission, Yor and Anya go, and Anya's wearing her school outfit, which
showing it off to
Yor
everybody.
shouldn't have let her do. But they end up seeing some best way to call them are bandits.
Mhm.
Different time
Because
period
in
for
the
bandits, but
in the tailor shop, the person who's fitting Anya for her school clothes is warning her that people like to bully like outsiders, and then there's
mm,
also people who try to kidnap the students for ransom because they're usually part of very wealthy families.
and yours like reassuring her that it's not gonna happen, and then it almost happens, and yours shows up and saves the day and
Hmm.
scares him off, and that's when yours Anya isn't that when Anya wanted to learn how to fight?
Yes, and that's
Eh,
the first time we hear your proclaim towards everyone that she's Anya's mother,
mhm.
and she actually has like motherly feelings towards Anya.
Which I think have been showing, but with her finally stating it, it was a big moment.
Hmm.
So I think that when they go home, Lloyd gets home, they're in the living room punching punching the
Punching
air,
air.
and Anya's getting her training in. And then after that, we fast forward to the first day of school, correct? No,
Hmm.
orientation.
Yeah,
They're all there for orientation, and Lloyd's
where
reminding
they
her that
are
she
being
has to
set
be
into their
good.
separate classes.
And Lloyd, obviously, Anya can read Lloyd's mind, so she knows exactly why. So she's getting really stressed out on having to be perfect and all this. And then when they're getting the classes, Lloyd hears Damien, Desmond, um, what's the
Becky,
no, what's his father's name? Desmond, what's his first name?
I can't remember. He's
Yeah,
like the leader of the
yeah,
opposite countries group.
yeah. So Desmond's kid, Damien Desmond, gets in the same class as Anya, and Anya is knows that Lloyd. It means the world to Lloyd for her to be nice to him.
Hmm.
And well, things started out kind of rocky. On top
Yeah.
of Anya embarrassing herself at the school and on the stage after being announced.
Hmm. And it's not only the leader of the opposite group's kid that's in Anya's class. There's also like three other political members on the other side, kids in her class too.
But isn't that because Lloyd went in? I'm pretty sure he made a statement how
He
he
only
switched it.
he only switched it so Anya was with
Hmm.
Damien, but he believes that they're trying to protect Damien by putting the other members' kids in his class as well.
Yeah.
So he's also kind of thinking that it could also be good intel because now he has more members of the opposing side that he could like have Anya become friends with and get information on.
Hmm.
But his plan with Damien, he has two separate plans. One is that Anya becomes an elite scholar. She has to get like 8 Stella, which are like stars, to become an elite, so that they can be invited to the like
Medians.
yeah the
Like the
meeting
little
that
parties. Not a
Damien's
very good
parent
plan.
or dad was going to be in. His other plan is that Anya becomes friends with Damien. Well, Anya's first day at school, uh, Damien is kind of picking on her and picking on Becky, who Anya is kind of starting to be friends with.
Milady.
And Anya decides to stand up to Damien, and she was going to punch him. Then she remembered what Yor said, and Yor said that warriors don't let their emotions control their fists.
She keeps hitting the little yeah. Or hey.
Yeah, she
She
was
just
hitting
like
the smirk
smiles
on
and
him.
laughs it
Yeah.
off. And then that's making him even more mad.
Hmm. And then we don't see it, but uh, Damien supposedly stepped on Becky's foot, and Anya swung and almost knocked Damien out. She hit him pretty hard.
She knocked him out of there. She almost knocked him
Yeah.
out of his boots.
uh, and then the headmaster was called over, and he realizes that it was elegant for Anya to protect her friend, and gives her a pretty lenient punishment. I would think. I think they were saying that she would get like 3 of the Taurus bolts, which if you get 8, you're expelled from the school.
Hmm.
Instead of 3, they only gave her 1. So after hearing about this, Lloyd is a little not happy because his first plan of her getting 8 stars is kind of going down the drain because she got a bolt, and her second plan of them becoming friends is down the drain because she just punched him in the face.
Yeah. So it definitely was not a good start. And then her first day of school, she's falling asleep in class. Lloyd's stressed out because she's not wanting to study. Then she ends up going to her room and won't doesn't really talk to anybody. When he goes in and asks her if she wants to watch her show after Yor and him have a little heart to heart about raising her, she finds out that she fell asleep watching. Well, not watching, but studying.
Mhm.
And then I think then he put her into the bed.
Yep.
And
And
you
the whole
also
time
find
she
out,
was like mumbling about how she had to get good grades for her dad.
yep. And you find out that she learns really well when it comes to Spy Wars, knowing that if there's 8 rounds in a magazine and 6 are shot, there's only 2 left.
Hmm.
So that's her way of kind of studying, and it incorporates what she likes to do. So she can still get her TV time in. All right, you want to go tour wrapping it up, get to the end of the chapter?
Hmm.
Well, the end of the volume.
Yeah. So we end the volume with meeting Yor's brother because Yor's brother really wants to meet who she's supposedly been married to for a year.
Mm.
And he's kind of already hesitant to liking Lloyd because he might be a danger to her or his sister, and he's like overly protective of her.
It's
He
kind of a
brings her
weird
like
type of protection.
Yeah, he brings her like 50 roses for the first time meeting. He's late to their meeting because he didn't know how many to get her, I think.
The real reason he was late is because he was. Well, you find out
Hmm.
what her brother actually does, and he's part of the SSS, which is the
The
Security
spy,
Secret Service or
yeah,
something.
mhm,
And
the
he,
anti-spy people.
say he's roughing somebody up and it's for the West. And if you
Hmm.
remember, Lloyd is from the East, so they are automatically enemies. And he was roughing up somebody who was spying for the other country. And he doesn't take well to traitors or people from the East or anyone incorporated with the
Hmm.
East. So
And when he gets to Lloyd's apartment, he starts having a few drinks, and just like he can't hold his alcohol very well. And while he's talking to Lloyd to kind of get to know him, Lloyd picks up on uh, something that Yuri is kind of talking about.
you get to see Lloyd's big brain 10,000 IQ plays.
Because according to Lloyd, the anti-spy people, the security police,
SSS.
yeah, they have a uh, kind of dialogue they go off of when talking about their missions to kind of hide what they do. And Lloyd knows the dialogue completely, and he knows the questions to ask to kind of dive deeper into it. So he asks like where the wine was from, and Yuri tells him where it was from, but Lloyd understands that the location is wrong and the price of the wine is wrong. So Lloyd figures out that Yuri is part of the anti-spy police.
Because he's using a tactic that you do to try to familiarize yourself with somebody, meet on common grounds.
Hmm. And Lloyd isn't too upset about it though, because as long as he's safe around Yuri, he can actually get some intelligence on what the anti-spy police are doing, which I think is pretty interesting. It's just another part of Lloyd being, giga brain. He just is always thinking about how he can improve and get higher, like further ahead of his competition. But at the end of the volume in episode 8 that was on, Yuri wants Lloyd and Yor to prove their love and kiss each other in front of him.
which is still kind of weird because they when he says that he shows pictures of them being intimate, obviously the fake pictures, but
Mhm.
when he says this, Lloyd's like, "All right, that like we do all the time, right, honey?"
Yeah,
And Yours face is visibly panicking,
she's
like she's
going
freaking
nuts.
out, has no clue what to do because Lloyd, he's done it plenty of times, but you can kind of get the sense that he's nervous about it because
Hmm.
I think this is the first time he's actually felt feelings for a person that he's going to kiss. But with Yor, on the other hand, is I don't think she's kissed a boy besides her brother on the forehead. So
Hmm. Yeah, and that's where we left off with Spy Family.
we wanted to get a shorter video out, but we did leave out some things that I didn't find too important. How Lloyd was stalking Anya at school,
Hmm.
and she kept hearing, well, getting messages about apologizing, and she never ended up because Milady Becky did not let her.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was just
But
we
we
left out some
also
small
do
stuff
find
like
out
that.
that Damien has feelings for Anya,
Oh yes,
and
did forget
he's
that.
very embarrassed about it
Because he
because,
doesn't know how to act. He doesn't know how
yeah.
to use his hands when he's around. It's typical grade school
Hmm.
tag era, and then chase him around the playground for an hour.
Yep. But that's all I have for this episode. If you have anything else to add.
What do you put Spy like? Where do you rank Spy Family on a scale of 1 to 10 right now? Obviously, we're not done with even the first season, but
Right now, it'd probably be a solid 8.5, I think.
for me, it's the 9.5. Because
Hmm.
as where we are right now, obviously you can't rank it up on other shows that are completed or that have more than 12 episodes. But where we are right now, the story's flawless.
Hmm.
The dialogue, like the character development, has been really good. You see character development already this early in with
Hmm.
your Lloyd and Anya. So I think it's 9.5 for me.
Yeah, it's pretty close to a 9 for me, but I'd have to put it at an 8.5 for right now.
Definitely the
But
best series I'm reading currently.
yeah, we are looking forward to finishing up this first set of episodes that are out. The next set are coming out in October, early October. We are both looking forward to that. You guys have anything to add or any questions you want us to know, or if you want us to check out another series, make sure you leave a comment, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Uh, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
All right. See you.